New toy time! I got a height gauge. I can really see how tall I really am. Stay tuned. Oh, son of a nutcracker. Well, I've been wanting to get a gauge block and a height gauge for a very long time, but I've wanted to get quite a big block, a 12 by 12 by 3, or a 12 by 18 by 3, and I also wanted to get a digital height gauge, a 12-inch digital height gauge. Unfortunately, that was going to put me into the $500 realm in crazy Canadian dollars, and I just couldn't do it. So I figured out, what do I really need? And so I settled on this 12 by 9 by 1.5 gauge or surface plate, and a 6-inch dial gauge. So this is only 6 inches high, not 12 inches high, and we'll just see what happens, right? I mean, I think I need a height gauge maybe 10 times a year kind of thing, and I'm pretty sure a 6-inch will work fine for me. Anyways, I just wanted to review how the dial height gauge works. By the way, why I wanted to go digital was just to reduce error. I seem to make a lot of mistakes with calculations and transposing and stuff like that. So vernier height gauge, forget about it. I just make too many mistakes, and I don't want to do that. A digital one is great because I don't have to then convert to millimeters or inches. That's really a very nice feature. So this is a compromise in between. I've got a direct read. I can directly read off the number and then add in my thou on top of that, which is great. And then, and then if I got to convert to metric, well, okay, I'll just, maybe make sure I do the conversion right. Okay, so the way this thing works is like most height gauges, you got to zero at first. And this one, it's just, you unscrew the little lock nuts here, and then you just drop it down. I got a gauge block here. So I'm calibrating it against this gauge block. So this is 1.0001 of an inch or something. And I make sure my surface plate is clean. I make sure my gauge block is clean. And then you can see, as I slide this under, I can feel it just gets tapped just a little tiny bit. And so what I can do is you lock this upper guy here, and then I can adjust my fine adjustment very nicely by, I can even go half a thou there. And as I slide it along, I don't feel it touching. But as I get her down to right on the 0, I can feel it. I can feel it just tick. So let me just get that up just a hair. So there we go. And then I can just set that as my 0. Now when I want to go and measure something, so let's say I'm measuring this height here, I just get my gauge up there. Oh, sorry, got to loosen this set screw. And I plop her down on top. Close enough. Just get her in the ballpark. And then I can lock my fine-tune adjustment. So, oh geez, I'm right on the nose already. But let me, there it ticks. So that's no good. And then I can just adjust it up a little bit. Come on, you. Oh, forgot to lock it. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, so there we are. And that's just at, we can see that it's just at 0 there. And then if I look really close, and let's see if it'll focus on there. It's going to focus. Come on, you're going to focus. Focus. There we go. I can just look at my gauge there, and I'm literally on the 2 line. We have a hard time seeing that. I'm literally on the 2 line. Anyways, that's how the height gauge works, and I think that's going to really come in handy for me over the years. And I think I'd love to have the bigger one. I'd love to have a digital one. I'd love to have a taller one, but realistically, it's just too much money. I got all of this for under a couple $100 Canadian, so I don't know what that'd be US, under 150 US or something. and I think it's going to really serve me well. So there you go. I'd love to hear your comments and feedbacks. What do you have for a height gauge? What do you like or dislike about them? Do you have a bigger granite block for whatever reason? Whatever. Let me know. Always curious about that. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll put it right over top of the dial here, so you can just boop on the dial and subscribe, and we can keep in touch. Thanks a lot. Bye now.